Today we're going to be looking at the Corsair Virtuoso Max headset. What's going on, everybody? Mark here from NoisyPixel.net, here with a new tech video. Yes, of course, we have the Virtuoso Max from Corsair, which thank you, by the way, for sending it out. Very excited to try out this brand new Dolby Atmos hybrid headset for Xbox and PC. At least that's what it told me on the email, but it says PlayStation and Mac on the box. So it looks like they're committing to supporting every platform, at least advertising wise, but this thing does everything. Hybrid connection, Bluetooth, noise canceling, transparency mode. It's got 50mm drivers, and we'll just go from there. Let's get this unboxed so we could get on with the review. There was one annoying piece of tape at the top, but then you just let the box fall off that way. And once again, these headsets have been coming with these bags lately, but this is a very leathery case, very nice. Definitely has a good texture to it. Definitely the nicest case I've gotten for a headset in a while, as expected. For $330, this is quite the price of a headset, but I'm hoping it sounds amazing and does everything, so it really is worth the price. But either way, it's definitely a steep ask for most people. This definitely is going to be for the more PC heavy user. But the first look at the silver Corsair Virtuoso Max, there it is. First look. This actually comes in black as well, but I've been rocking the white accessories lately, and this was the closest thing. And just off the first look, now that I'm staring at it, this thing looks pristine. Very metallic. These whole knobs are rotating, which is quite the experience. This is not the norm. It's already coming up very luxury. It seems like everything is also in this pouch. Nothing was in the box. But at the top, we have a USB-C to USB braided cable that is color matched, so thank the Lord it has the same color. But this is looking like probably like a 5-foot wire. That seems to be what I've been getting lately out of these products. 5 feet, 4 feet. Charging cable, it should be enough to charge. I actually don't know the battery life of this product, so we'll figure that out for sure. Corsair branded cable, nicely color matched with two-tone gray and silver to match. We love to see that, but we'll put the cable down. That's pretty much it for that. Also at the top, this could have been probably packaged a little bit nicer, but I guess it gets the job done. We have the dongle. It's gonna be a big USB, not a small little USB-C dongle that we're used to seeing. Maybe there's some beefy technology that they needed to just pack into something like this. Not gonna spend too much time on the dongle. It does have a nice like sandpapery texture at the top, and then where the logo is, it is smooth. So they do take pride in even the small things at Corsair, looks like. That's gonna be it. Other than the boom in the bag, we'll put the bag down. Sponsored by Leather. Here is the boom, and actually the first thing I noticed about the boom mic, other than the USB-C connection, that's the second thing I noticed, that is different, is the mute button. There's a button right at the tip where the USB-C sits, so that's actually very different as well. Other than that, just holding the boom mic, very high quality. It almost feels like a braided, like normal like USB cable, but it just feels really thick. And it just works color matched well with this like two material, one with like that sandpapery material, and then you have this smooth metal finish at the top. That's a closer look on this camera right here. Very nice looking boom. Hopefully this sounds great. If not, that'd be an upset. But now, the moment we've been waiting for, the Virtuoso Max. Give a little like rotation demo here. I really actually don't love the texture necessarily, just because it just like the sound. But I'm sure it's gonna feel really comfortable. Corsair headband, leatherette. We got the logo stamped in here. It's kind of hard to see. Here's like one of the ear cups. Here's the dial I was talking about. The whole ear cup rotates, and the other one does that as well. If you look here, I do really like that about this headset. I'm not exactly sure what that controls yet, especially because there's two of them, but maybe they both do the same thing. We'll figure that out for sure. There's actually two USB-Cs, one on each side. This one's going to be for the charging on the right side. So that's quite the function. They have like a little push knob to skip songs as opposed to clicking, but then you can also click it, so it looks like it's going to be a nice multi-function button, which is just like a different take on your typical functionality. The power button looks like on the left where the boom mic is going to go. This is also a switch. This is actually the switch for Bluetooth on or off, and then this is your multimedia function button on the other side, so that is confirmed. But lastly, we're going to throw this headset on. Ear cup, very nice, smooth, very smooth texture on the ear cups, contrasting a lot of different materials. Like we have leatherette, got this like nylon-y, like plushy feeling, smooth metal here, sandpapery feel on the ear cup. So there's just a lot going on with the tactile response here. little shiny logos on each side. Let's test out the headset expansion. Like, look how big this is. It's huge. That's at full extension. So I'm gonna just put it back to the standard layout. It looks like I just gotta pull it down a little bit, but not too much. It actually feels a little heavy on the top of the head than I would expect, but maybe it'll settle in a little bit. Maybe I was just pressing it down. But yeah, it doesn't feel as comfortable as other headsets on the top of the headband. It's definitely like a harder feel, believe it or not. But we'll see how that plays out over time. The passive noise canceling is okay, nothing extraordinary, but the inside is very spacious. My ears feel very free. None of my earlobes are like touching up too much on the inside. It's just a very open space feeling. It's not like too plushy. It actually is pretty firm for the most part, but it is comfortable nonetheless. I don't think Corsair necessarily tries to overcompete in the comfort. I think they do like a nice, comfortable headset, but I think they focus on sound and other user experience features more than just the comfort. But I digress from that. Everything else feels really good on the headset. Maybe I'll throw the boom in real quick, see what it looks like, but then we'll just move on to the review after that. All right, boom mic going in. Very firm boom mic. You see how I just quickly snapped it into place. Has a nice bend to it. It's very firm, so it's not gonna like snap back at you or anything like that. Wherever you want it to go, it will stay, which we know that is a good sign. Looks like there was a little piece of tape blocking the power button. We're just gonna turn this thing on real quick, see if it's got any cool audio features or see what the noise canceling and transparency sounds like really quick before we move on. See how this goes. How do I turn this on? Does it even have battery? Oh, it's definitely on. It's got some cool rhythmic sounds. Oh, so I think when you turn it, it just goes wow. But it's not that loud. I'm trying to make it louder. I do like that. That's very cool. Very Dolby-like. Let's see if I can turn on the noise canceling. Where's that other button? There's another button somewhere. Oh, here it is. Did that do anything? Click. All right, so that's doing nothing. All right, it's definitely on now. Let's see, what does this button do? Oh, double boop, holding it down. I just went into space. This is transparency mode. Whoa. Yeah, this button is the noise canceling and transparency mode. So every time you switch the mode, it just goes whoa, and then it goes whoosh. So like you can't hear the change in modes. Like you can't hear the change in audio until after the track ends playing. So I think that's actually very interesting that they mask like perceptually when the sound changes. It's a cool experience. Transparency mode sounds like I have, if you ever done audio recording for vocals, it sounds like there's two of me, like it sounds like I'm doubled for volume reasons, but this transparency mode sounds great. It really doesn't sound too tacky, or obviously I sound amplified digitally, but it really doesn't sound too lopsided on frequency. It doesn't sound like my voice is too high, or it doesn't sound like my voice is too low. It sounds pretty accurate, other than the fact that it sounds like there's two of me. All right, so now I think the headset is back to normal. As you can see on the boom mic actually lights up in these different modes in my peripheral vision. So there's a lot of nuance to this headset already that is very perceptually interesting. I think this is noise canceling now. And it really does do a great job at canceling out, not so much like the general noises, like I can hear this keyboard tap. I can actually hear myself pretty decently, but all like the low end noise and obtrusive just white noise is just gone. It's very peaceful in the noise canceling. It's a very different type of noise canceling than I'm used to actually, so it's very nice. But I think that's enough messing around with the headset on camera, because I think we need to get to the review. Oh, I just realized outside of the headset, RGB. Very cool looking, not too in your face. They really do pack the money that you're spending very nicely so far into this. Like everything doesn't really stand out as an outsider negative aspect. Everything really does coincide together. It's very cohesive, the headset so far, but I don't want to get too deep into the review yet. Oh, it's green. It's changing colors on its own. I don't know what that means. Other than that, everyone, I think I'm ready to move on to the review of the Corsair Virtuoso Max, where we're gonna go over all the ins and outs. Is this good? Is this bad? How's it sound? Hopefully you enjoyed the unboxing section of the Corsair Virtuoso Max, but I think it's time to get our opinion, see what this thing sounds like, how I feel about it, all of that fun stuff. This has been Mark from NoisyPixel.net, and let's review the Corsair Virtuoso Max headset coming up next.
Introducing Corsair's newest addition to their premium headset line, the Virtuoso Max. Unlike previous iterations, this new set of speakers provides simultaneous hybrid connectivity, allowing users to hear sound output from their dongle and Bluetooth source. In a rapidly evolving world of technology, people need more out of their hardware and their dollars, so Corsair aims to fill a gap for lifestyle gamers looking for a premium product. At $330, the Corsair Virtuoso Max steps boldly onto the shelf, and although pricey for most gamers, those looking for a well-rounded product might want to take a few minutes to learn about it. The Corsair Virtuoso Max Max is a mixed bag regarding build materials, but the best way to describe the look is premium. From top to bottom, the use of plastics, shiny metals, leatherette, fabric, and more coincides nicely, while the contrast of surfaces creates visual appeal. The metal frame and ear cups bring the look together, otherwise the Virtuoso Max might look similar to other headsets. The structure of the Corsair Virtuoso Max is a bit rigid due to the metals, as expected, leaving little play for hyperextension. However, given this, the headset can still be flat-packed, which is a plus. Regarding standing out, the RGB exterior of the ear cups and boom mic might seem extra due to some, but personally, it sells this headset as something more to the outsider. Not every day you see this much RGB on a headset, so it makes the Virtuoso Max unique, and it's done tastefully and uniformly. The RGB also signifies battery life drain every 30%, as there are 3 zones of RGB on each ear. Another satisfying user experience design touch from Corsair. Even more minor touches do a fine job of lifting the Virtuoso Max's appearance, such as the weave netting inside the ear cups, the stitching on the headband, the metallic Corsair logos on the sides, or even the DBoss logo on the leatherette headband. When battery life changes, the RGB blinks green, yellow, or red, and a female voice alerts the user. The RGB is rather bright and colorful, with no signs of inconsistent illumination. The excellent user experience continues when you put on the Corsair Virtuoso Max. The airy and cloud-feeling fabric ear pads offer ample space around your ears, and no ear or temple pain occurred during my review. The fabric was very cooling and flowy, reducing clammy buildup around my ears. However, the fabric is so sensitive to stains, water, and grime, so keep your fingers away from the pads if possible. I also think it's the cheapest looking material on the Virtuoso. Back end of comfort, I'm skipping ahead to say that the headband padding, although aesthetically stylish with the interesting grooves and stitching, provides minimal comfort after 3 to 4 hours of use. Perhaps my hair doesn't offer enough padding, but I was agitated to feel discomfort on such a high-priced device. The headband might appear comfortable from the outside due to the exciting design, but it offers quite the opposite experience. I often had to shift the headband to relieve pressure to avoid headaches. The headband comfort might be the most significant negative of the Corsair Virtuoso Max, but I digress. A positive of the Virtuoso Max's headband is that it stretches to various larger head sizes. I would say that this headset prioritizes larger or longer head shapes a bit more, as even the headset frame in its most compressed form sits lower on my head compared to other headsets. The ear cups are also generally oversized, so this headset might be too big for children. Lastly, regarding fabric and comfort, the headset's grip is very top heavy, as there is little grab or pressure from the ear cups, so the headband pain makes sense, as the top is doing all the heavy lifting. I can also confirm that my friend who owns the previous Virtuoso model says this design flaw is present, so Corsair still needs to improve on this talking point. Some major positives of the Corsair Virtuoso Max lie with the on-frame buttons and dials, such as the individual full diameter dials on each ear that control Bluetooth and dongle volume separately. Between the metal's gritty texture and the buttery yet notchy feel, these dials are a joy to use. However, they can be more sensitive or faster in changing the volume digitally, as I can't go from 100 to 0 with one full turn of my wrist. I must re-grip and spin to get enough movement out of the dial. Besides the customizable function of the right ear cup, which controls active noise cancelling or transparency modes by holding the button down, the Corsair Virtuoso Max utilized toggle switches instead of buttons. Push the power button switch down one notch to turn it on, and press down on the spring-loaded Bluetooth to begin connecting to a remote device. The Bluetooth switch cannot be held, as it will snap back to its default spot. This is a nice touch though, instead of the typical process of holding down a button for 5 seconds. This way you just push down and let go. The switch doesn't feel cheaply made either. Less work, much faster. The same goes for the multimedia switch that controls music, pause, play, next, previous, and phone call pickup and hang up controls if needed. Instead of confusing buttons to double, triple click, or even hold down for whatever amount of time, simply push down for the previous, push up for the next, and press for pause or play. Kudos to trying new things. More on the onboard features, the boom mic is not attached by nature, as the boom mic uses USB-C into the left ear on the Corsair Virtuoso Max. The boom is well made with a braided wire section which bends well and holds its position. There is no flip mute or vertical motion to the boom, as the boom uses a button on the body itself to mute, which by default will illuminate the boom RGB red in your peripheral vision. It was hard to get used to this button mute, but I enjoyed the quality of the button and the RGB mute experience. The mic is also very aesthetically well done and not over-designed. It's small, sleek, and doesn't take up your peripheral vision too much. I still prefer a flip to mute, but at least Corsair doubles down on trying to be different. We'll discuss boom sound quality later. Lastly, the charging USB-C port is located on the right side of the Corsair Virtuoso Max, which fast charges in about an hour to around 75%. After 75%, it takes another 30 minutes to an hour to charge, and this engineering is very welcome, as I do not like having a wire attached when playing and charging. The Virtuoso Max's specs list a 60-hour battery life with a 1.5-hour charge time when not being used, but based on my personal experience, the battery life seems like a stretch. Still, I'm sure it's possible to achieve in ideal conditions, but it's highly unlikely. You have to turn off every enhancement, RGB, and more. The Virtuoso Max's battery life lasts about 3 to 5 days for heavy users, depending on your use of noise cancelling, hybrid connection, and even the headset sleep feature, which I very much liked. The headset will automatically turn on upon picking it up off your headset stand, which is super convenient. I don't turn the Virtuoso Max off, I simply place it down and let it sleep. I'm sure I will lose some battery life this way, but I don't mind due to the fast charge times. Speaking of charge time, the Corsair Virtuoso Max provides stellar fast charge benchmarks by providing about 60 to 70% in an hour, finishing the charge after about 1.5 to 2 hours. For example, I recorded a 4% battery life jump from 10% to 14% in 1 minute. After that, I reached 52% battery life in only 6 minutes of charging, 64% after 30 minutes, and 73% after 1 hour. So the charge does exponentially slow down, but it's exponentially fast when at low battery. If wearing a USB-C cable to your head annoys you when playing and charging, at least after 5 minutes, you get almost half of your battery life back. A fantastic user experience in terms of charging if you ask me. I do have to charge the Virtuoso Max about twice a week, which is about 1 time too much for my liking, but I'll make the trade-off on this one. As expected, the Corsair Virtuoso Max offers top-tier sound quality, but I want to specify that statement towards wireless and hybrid options. The Virtuoso Max packs a punch primarily in the dynamic range category for 50mm graphene drivers that aren't connected to an external preamp or wired solution. Between the spacious sound ear padding leaving a wide-sounding stage and the default Dolby Atmos support, the Virtuoso Max leaves a very wet, reverby tone. This sound may only appeal to some users. Still, the Virtuoso Max does a great job at taking a stereo configuration and creating a dynamic experience that feels unique to Corsair. For $330, the sound lacks fidelity or punchiness, but I think you would feel differently if you bought a $300 headset specifically made to be plugged in and powered by an external source. Yeah, the Virtuoso Max can be a bit louder or more accurate in tonality, but Corsair creates a memorable audible environment. If the default isn't for you, you can alter the sound's tone via the equalizer in the iCUE software. And trust me, I would take the time to edit the sound. Out of the box, the high range frequencies and the S sounds were way too prominent, thus hurting my ears. With some tweaking though, the Virtuoso Max's sound is vastly improved in volume output and the quality of my preferred listening frequencies. The Virtuoso Max's dynamic sound, volume, and frequency range are well suited for customization. Whether you like loud treble or boosted bass, the speakers don't seem limited or weaker on either side of the spectrum. Adding to the customizable experience, iCUE also allows users to change intricate settings on the Virtuoso Max, such as LED brightness, RGB effects, custom button functions, create your own sound EQ, mic, side tone, and more. To be even more specific, you can change what volume dial controls Bluetooth, boost your mic's high range input with mic boost, choose a sleep timer, and turn voice prompts off. But the most notable feature to be customized is the Sound ID menu. If you are patient enough to give your ears 5 minutes of your time, this process yields better sound results than a custom EQ that I made to my preferences. Typically, I ignore features like this, but it was a pleasant addition to the Virtuoso Max's controls. Other iCUE additions include the downloadable NVIDIA Broadcast noise reduction for your mic, which didn't do much for me, but it's there nonetheless. You can also link a voice changer, keystrokes, or other PC functions to the custom button on the right ear. Lastly, the Corsair Virtuoso Max allows users to save their preferred custom button function and RGB interface settings by switching to device memory mode in iCUE. This is very convenient as sometimes headsets forget user settings when disconnected from the host PC or dongle. Besides iCUE features, listening to music, primarily gaming, is a thrilling experience with the Corsair Virtuoso Max. I played the new Call of Duty with the headset, and the clarity of the small details like footsteps or zombies creeping up behind me was effortless to hear. Headsets that leave space in the interior of the ear padding typically have more depth in the sound, and this is the case with this headset. Sound directionality remained distinct, and the Virtuoso Max provided an immersive audio experience while gaming I haven't had in a while. The support for Dolby Atmos code does wonders here, as games often support support high-res surround sound nowadays that you would miss out on stereo-only or non-compliant devices. Going back to music listening, after programming my Sound ID, I was extremely pleased with the cleanliness of the bass. It didn't rattle the device but still offered enough punch without distortion. The only distortion I did experience was the high-range treble sounds on the default EQ. Once customized, the Virtuoso Max provides a very crisp and distinct tone at all frequencies. If you haven't picked up on it, the Virtuoso Max provides a dual hybrid connection, allowing the user to connect to a Bluetooth device and a wireless 2.4 GHz dongle. This is not new tech, but this headset conveniently provides audio outputs simultaneously, so you can hear your phone's notifications or videos while still connected to your friends on Discord via your wireless PC USB dongle. The experience is flawless, with real-time playback and quick Bluetooth syncing, which becomes automatic after the first sync. Oh, did I mention the boom mic is also pretty nice quality for once? Adding to the success of their hybrid layout, here is a sample of the boom mic.
Testing the Corsair mic. Alright, as you can see, it doesn't sound bad, doesn't sound amazing. It often clips. I think it doesn't really have a good limiter to the volume, but otherwise, decent clarity, decent noise canceling built into the system. Can't really complain.
I would grant that it's nice enough for basic content creation or voiceover, given that you do not have a better solution. Regarding wireless performance, the range is not the best for the price, but certainly isn't the worst. With a box labeled spec of 50 feet, I can easily navigate my apartment and even sit outside with no connection problems. But go any further outside and it starts to disconnect. Anyway, the pairing distance is sufficient and does not detract from the hybrid experience. The Corsair Virtuoso Max did provide 2 bugs. When on a phone call on my iPhone and dual connected to the dongle, my friend on the line would start to transmit robotically, thus making it impossible to hear what he was saying. I quickly disconnected and reconnected Bluetooth to fix the issue in real time, but it would return after a few minutes. This is somewhat disappointing to discover, and I hope this problem fades over time with updates. This could be an Apple compatibility problem, but I need clarification. Second bug, the Virtuoso Max would constantly disconnect Discord input and output from my boom mic, which was extremely annoying. Apparently the previous Virtuoso model did this as well, so there's still no dice. I was forced to use my external mic one night, rendering the Virtuoso's boom mic useless. This only happened on one instance, but it was enough for me to question if I should even bother with using the boom again. There are a few more talking points on performance, so let's bring up ANC and transparency mode. Sometimes, active noise cancelling modes can be hit or miss with lackluster noise filtration, high ear pressure environments, and speaker rattle, but not with the Corsair Virtuoso Max. It's not the best I have tried, but this noise cancelling works excellently at filtering out most sounds with a heavy focus on low frequency rumble. My PC case is loud, and I do not hear it during active noise cancelling. Also, the headset makes a suction sound effect when turning on ANC, which audibly masks the sound change and simulates immersion in your new environment. The same goes for transparency mode, only this time the suction sound is reversed, thus expanding the sound beyond your headset. The complaint with transparency mode is that the input range can be higher, as I still have trouble hearing sounds more than 5 feet away from me unless very loud or primarily high frequency. For example, it's way easier to listen to the kitchen sink loudly versus a male's deep voice due to the higher frequency in the sink. Other than these nitpicks, I would still consider transparency mode to work well and as intended, as long as the noise isn't too far away. Holding down the custom button changes sound modes. This button also turns off ANC and transparency. To cycle through the settings, simply press and hold. I found the side tone to be unresponsive under 75% power, and anything under 75 either doesn't work well or just creates an annoying subtle speaker vibration. Corsair did reach out to me stating there would be an update on this, so with enough patience, we should see a functional side tone feature. Although expensive at $330, the Corsair Virtuoso Max is a well-rounded audio device that complements many lifestyles. With top-tier surround sound, enhanced audio fidelity, incredible customizability and features, simultaneous hybrid functionality, solid build quality, and more. This headset provides mileage on your spending without external preamps or attachments. As good as it is, the device has flaws. Headband comfort, battery life, Bluetooth call bugs, other bugs, and other minor qualms detract from the enjoyment. The biggest flaw is undoubtedly the headband, as it annoys me that a headset with such a unique design and memorable sound simply causes head pain at the core of my scalp. Given the price and hybrid features, there needs to be more competition in this audio category. Still, given the Virtuoso Max's high price, I see the head pain as a deal breaker. This could only be a me problem, but it's a big problem. It won't stop me from using the Virtuoso Max as my new daily. although you'll occasionally catch me shifting the pressure point. The product is counterintuitive in terms of portability and Bluetooth. The Corsair Virtuoso Max is simply an at-home product only. I would not want to damage or dirty the device in the outside world, and it's rather large, bulky, and stiff. This detracts the well-made aspects of the ANC, transparency, and hybrid mode features, but I still get distance with these additions at home. Noisy Pixel is giving the Corsair Virtuoso Max headset a B+. It is a great product, truly, for those looking into a luxury headset for lifestyle gaming in this price category. Corsair put love and care into this product, and this can be seen in all of the small details and fun discoveries the Virtuoso Max showcases the moment it's unboxed. Given no head pain and a slightly smaller, lighter weight form factor, this device is a winner. Thank you for watching. Noisy Pixel is a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all of our future content, and feel free to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/noisypixel to support independent game journalism. That URL might be wrong, but just you guys know how to find websites. Have a good day.
Noisy Pixel.